All right, guys, welcome to another video. As you all know, my name is Juan, and this is Goku Guidance. Semen retention will turn you into a virtuous man. Semen retention will turn you into a virtuous man. Virtue is having or showing high moral standards, conforming to a moral ethic principle and morally excellent. So, what is a moral person or what is a virtuous person? I mean, in essence, a moral person or a virtuous person is a person that wishes to be righteous before God and the world. Semen retention will turn you into that. Semen retention will turn you into a virtuous man. Um, how? Because everything that is bad in the world, not just bad for you physically but mentally, you're not gonna want to you're not gonna want anything to do with that because it turns you into a righteous man. Obviously you know that porn and masturbation is bad for you, and your moral standards will change. You will know, hey man, that stuff is bad for you. So your morality and your virtue will start going up. And anything that's bad for you, whether it's a physical thing such as drugs and alcohol, you'll start to be like, it'll start you won't have a taste for it. You'll start to want to push it out the way. You're like, no, I don't want that stuff. That stuff is bad for you. You know what's crazy about that is that when your virtues go up, you start behaving more like a superhero, but without any superpowers. You start behaving more like let's just use a Superman for an example. You start behaving more like Superman. If you see something that doesn't agree with you, like let's say you see some poor kid getting bullied or anything like that, like you're not gonna go and beat the dude up that's bullying the little kid, but your moral or your virtuousness will kick in, and you'll say something. You'll be like, "Hey man, like don't be doing that. Don't be doing that." You're not necessarily gonna show up and beat the dude up and save the day. No, you're gonna say something. Because you're turning into the man that you want to be. Not only that, like that is one of your purposes in life is to protect those that can't protect themselves. Like that's the whole thing about being a masculine man. It's to protect people. Not just the ones you love, but also just random strangers. Like if you were to see somebody like some pickpocketer, if you were to see some pickpocketer pick somebody's pockets, you would you the righteous thing to do would be like, hey man, like don't be doing that. The righteous thing to do is like, hey man, like stop. Or what? I mean, you're even gonna look around and you're gonna be like, or what? Or I'll since I don't see any virtuous man around here, I'll beat your ass. And it's not about beating anybody's ass or anything like that. It's the right thing to do. It really is the right thing to do. I was in the bank not too long ago. I was in line, I was waiting for my turn, and there's this really really pretty girl in that bank. I think she's really pretty. She's 26 years old. I forget what her name is, but I see her all the time. I see her all the time. I go to the bank all the time. And the dude goes in front, right? And I'm not sure what all was said, but basically he was cussing the girl out. He was cussing the girl out. And then he goes up to the dude, and one of the guys that works there is like, and then he called him. a pig or something, the old dude, like the fat dude here. And I'm just standing there listening to it. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? And it turned something in me. I didn't see no security guard step in. Like no, like maybe the security guard was there, but he wasn't like there. He was probably in some other part of the bank. He didn't see anything. And it's not my job. It's not my job to sit there and be like, hey guy, don't do that. But something triggered inside of me. I saw that nobody stepped up to do anything. I'm looking to my right, I'm looking to my left, and nobody said anything. So I honestly, kindly and politely just I told the guy like, hey man, like why don't you show respect to the people around here? And then he started just yapping and yelling. It's like, well, they don't show me a respect. Like, hey, man, I saw you insult the lady, man. Why don't you show her a little bit more respect? Why don't you show the people that work here at the bank, why don't you show them a little respect? He didn't have it. And I told him, you talk to me like that, dude, and I'll show you respect. And then all of a sudden, because a masculine man stepped up and challenged him, he's like, hey, man, I don't want any beef. And I'm just telling him, I don't want any beef either, bro. But you show the people here that work here respect. And then that was the end of that. And I didn't get any thanks or anything. No, nobody applauded me or anything. And I wasn't looking for any of that stuff. But the thing is that when you see injustices around, just around you in general, like you're gonna you're gonna want to do something. And not necessarily like go beat the guy up or anything, but you're gonna say something because you because you're in your masculine energy. Now, I'm not telling you to go and challenge people. I'm not telling you to go and beat people up. And but that's just how I felt at the time. I felt that the nobody would help out this poor young girl. No, the way that I felt is like nobody would help this poor young girl. Like nobody would help her. And I'm like, well, there's no real men that nobody stepped up. So I'm like, you know what? I guess I have to do it. I told the guy, hey man, I just politely told him, hey man, show the people that work here respect, show the lady respect. I heard him call her like I heard her call her name, and it's kind of triggered me a little bit in the inside. And it's not about beating people up. It's just about doing the right thing. That's what it's all about. And like I mentioned, semen retention will turn you into a virtuous man. um and you want to be right before God, so you will abstain from just basically any sin that's bad for you, like any sin, just sin in general. Like you will be like, hey man, I don't want to drink because it's sinful, I don't want to smoke because it's sinful, I don't want to be prideful because it's sinful, I don't want this is the trip. This is the trip. Anybody who sins sexually sins against his own body, and you definitely don't want to do that either. That is the last thing that you want to do, is sin against your own body. Not only is it bad for you, but like the repercussions of sinning against your own body, it 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 it, it destroys you mentally. Like it makes you physically weak. I mean, it's all bad for you. You will start to maybe not like walk around like if you were Superman, but you will feel like, hey man, like it's not your job to protect those that can't defend themselves, but when there's no real man around, like it kind of falls up on you, whether you want to or not. And you're not doing it because of self-righteousness, or you're not doing it, you're doing it like you do these virtuous things because it's just the right thing to do. That's how I feel. That's how I personally feel. I personally feel like I have to say something because it's just the right thing to do. Not because I feel like I'm Superman or I'm gonna go and beat everybody's ass because I'm on semen retention. No, it's not about that. It's just about standing right with God and standing right because you're a man. And that's what men are supposed to do. Like real men, that's what real men are supposed to do. It's not about beating anybody up. It's just about, hey man, hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Like why? What's it to you? Because it's the right thing to do. Period. Hey, you see that poor girl you just insulted? Like, hey man, like why don't you apologize to the girl? Why? What's it to you? Because it's the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. And people can take it however they want to take it, but that's just how I feel. And I know that once you're in semen retention for a certain amount of time, you're gonna start to feel the same way. You're gonna start looking around like, hey man, like don't like isn't anybody else seeing this? You'll notice that most people will put their head down. It's like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with this crazy bastard. It's like I don't want to deal with this crazy bastard either. But if somebody if somebody is like stepping out of line, especially inside of a bank, like yeah, there's a lot of crazy people going around, and there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of mental health issues because of social media. There's a lot of mental health issues because of pornography. There's a lot of mental health. There's a lot of mental health issues going around just in general. I was just talking to somebody just now. I was like, "Hey, man, you know what I've noticed? This is what I've noticed. I've noticed that most people born roughly around like anywhere between 1990 and the 2000s, all of this generation. What's the generation that we're in? Generation Z. All this new generation, like they're all damn near like 90 of them, like they have mental issues. They're unstable. They want everything right now. I don't know what the deal was with this person, but it was a young man. And you can kind of size people up. You look at them from the feet to the face, and you're like, yeah, you're a puss, dude. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, I kind of like felt like slapping him, but I'm like, just relax, show the lady some respect, and you'll get your money, dude. Like, it's not like these people. It's not like they keep their money for themselves. Like, I don't know what the issue was, but I mean, you'll get your money, bro. Just relax. And I'm not saying that I was the only I'm sure there was probably more, but like nobody said anything, and it just kind of bothered me. So I figured I had to say something. But anyways, guys, similar attention will turn you into a virtuous man. It takes time. How long you'll find out when you get there. Like you will find out when you get there. It may take a year before the virtues start to kick in, before you start realizing, hey man, this is bad. I shouldn't be doing this. But it just takes a long time. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to make a short video on that. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, well, go ahead and subscribe. It'll really help out the channel. It'll really help me out. Um, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to tell me what you think. Once again, my name is Juan, and this has been Goku Guidance. Until next time, guys.